Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. This is your Manchester United West Ham preview in the FA Cup 5th round. It's Tuesday night, 7:30 kick-off at Old Trafford. Now, the last time we played West Ham in the FA Cup was back in 2016. We beaten them in the quarter-finals 2-1. We've got a good home record in the FA Cup. The last time we lost at Old Trafford in the FA Cup was to Swansea 2-1 back in 2015. We progressed to the 5th round of the FA Cup by beating Watford in the 3rd round 1-0, and we beat Liverpool in the 4th round 3-2. West Ham obviously beat Doncaster in the 4th round. West Ham are enjoying a good season. They're definitely exceeding expectations because no one expected them to be in the position that they're in at this stage of the season. And David Moyes is doing well in his second spell with West Ham. David Moyes has brought quite a few players in. Obviously brought Souček in. He's made a fantastic impact. Also brought Benrahma in. Well, he obviously got him on loan, but obviously earlier on this year West Ham got him permanently. He also brought Fredrik Ibsen in. Not so long ago brought Jesse Lingard in on loan. Jesse Lingard won't be able to play in this game because obviously it's his parent and club. I think West Ham could actually get Jesse Lingard permanently. Jesse Lingard did score twice on his debut for West Ham in their 3-1 win against Aston Villa. He also brought Craig Dawson in on loan from Watford. He also brought Vladimir Coufal in. So yeah. Declan Rice, he's a very, very good player for West Ham. Don't forget, we've been in for him. He said earlier on this season that West Ham were considering lowering their asking price for Declan Rice to £50 million, but West Ham initially value him at around £80 million, and ESPN said earlier on this season that we was set to rival Chelsea for Declan Rice. As far as I'm aware, Chelsea are no longer in for him because Chelsea sacked Frank Lampard, and Frank Lampard was infuriated when he missed out on Declan Rice, because Declan Rice was his top target. Declan Rice is predominantly a holding midfielder, but he can also be deployed as a centre-half. But I like the way Declan Rice gets forward. He breaks up the play well. He's been at West Ham now for a while. He's got a contract with West Ham until 2024. There's also an option to extend his contract for a further 12 months. Before he was at West Ham, he was at Chelsea. He was in their youth setup for several years. I think that Pablo Fornals is also good for West Ham. He's one of their key players. Lanzini, he's also pretty good for West Ham. They've got Jared Bowen. He's also good. Mikel Antonio, he's also a good player for West Ham. I like that Issa Diop. He's a good centre-half. I think we inquired about getting him a while ago. Aaron Cresswell, he's a very, very good left-back. Probably one of the best left-backs in the Premier League. Yarmolenko, he's a pretty good player for West Ham. They've got that Ryan Fredericks. West Ham have still got Mark Noble. Mark Noble has been with them a while. West Ham have let quite a few players go. Don't forget they let Sebastian Haller go, and he was actually good for West Ham. With Sebastian Haller made an impact. They let Robert Snodgrass go. They let Winston Reid go. They let Felipe Anderson go. They let Grady Diangana go as well. West Ham have won the FA Cup, I think, 3 times. The last time they won the FA Cup was 41 years ago. West Ham's last win at Old Trafford, I think it was back in 2007 when Carlos Tevez had scored. We did beat West Ham in the league earlier on this season, 3-1 at the London Stadium. I think West Ham have just got 2 injuries. They've got Musaku out and they've got Randolph out with injury. But yeah, David Moyes is going to be reuniting with Man United. We did have David Moyes for 10 months. He enjoyed the shortest tenure at the club. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. David Moyes obviously didn't only manage us before. Obviously before he was with us, he was at Everton. He was at Everton around 11 years. Before Everton, I think he was at Preston. Don't forget, he managed Sunderland at one point. Obviously got Sunderland relegated, and he did manage Real Sociedad. And I think he also got sacked from Real Sociedad. West Ham drew with Fulham recently, 0-0. Souček actually got sent off in that game. But I'm expecting us to beat West Ham. We are the second most successful team in FA Cup history. We have won 12 FA Cups. The last time we won the FA Cup was back in 2016 under Louis van Gaal. We did get to the semi-finals last season of the FA Cup, but obviously we lost to Chelsea 3-1. We're coming into this game on the back of a 3-3 draw with Everton recently. And that was very, very disappointing. We squandered a 2-goal lead. We was 2-0 up at half-time. And I thought then we was going to win the game. Obviously our goals came from Edinson Cavani. He scored the first. It was a very, very good goal from Edinson Cavani. And it was a lovely cross from Marcus Rashford. Our second goal came from Bruno Fernandes. Oh, it was a very, very good goal from Bruno Fernandes. Dinked it over Olsen. And obviously our third goal came from Scott McTominay. And it was in terms of an attacking intent, it was a good performance by us, but defensively we were shambolic. To be honest with you, in the second half, Everton put a good performance out. David De Gea, he was the culprit for Everton's first goal, because obviously David De Gea palmed it straight out to Doucouré's feet. And he was beaten far too easily for Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal in the 95th minute of stoppage time. Now, like I said to you earlier on, does David De Gea need to be dropped? He won't be dropped though. I think he's going to remain our number one for at least this season. And in the last couple of years, David De Gea has made calamitous mistakes. Some people think David De Gea is one of our biggest problems at the club. But a few years ago, David De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. But I think at some point, Dean Henderson will become our number one. But we missed the opportunity to go level on points with Man City. Obviously, Manchester City have beaten Liverpool today 4-1. So I can assure now that the title is over for Man United, and it's certainly over for Liverpool as well. But Solskjaer, made an admission before Liverpool kicked off saying that, the title has gone for Man United. But, we haven't been great at home this season, have we? All our defeats have come at Old Trafford this season. By the way, Paul Pogba came off with injury in our 3-3 draw with Everton. Solskjaer confirmed he has sustained a muscle injury. He said he was going to be further assessed today, and Paul Pogba was going to have a scan. Hopefully the injury is not too severe, but I think he is a doubt for this game against West Ham. But I do think that in this game against West Ham, Solskjaer is going to make some changes. On my next video, I will be giving you my starting 11 prediction. I think Dean Henderson's going to be put in goal. Obviously, Eric Bailly is a doubt for this game. He's out with injury. But I certainly think that Lindelof needs to be dropped. Maybe Donny van der Beek could come into the team for this one. Maybe Juan Mata could be given a chance. Maybe Fred could start this game as well. So, yeah. Our next league game is West Brom, and Manchester United should be winning that. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager, because we haven't won a trophy now for like 4 years, and a club of our stature, need to be winning trophies. I am still Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, despite us drawing with Everton recently. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was totally blameless for that 3-3 draw with Everton. And I think Solskjaer is going to be given at least another season at the football club. That will be his 3rd full season at Man United. This is his 2nd full season at the moment. And I think, he's made very, very good progress, Solskjaer, in the last year or so. Don't forget, we was unbeaten in 13 Premier League games in a row till Sheffield had beaten us. We've been very, very good away from home. We are unbeaten in our last 18 Premier League away games, and we haven't lost away from home in over a year. I think in recent months and that, performances have been improving. Players are improving. That's good to see. But we do deserve credit for sticking with Solskjaer, because he could have easily been sacked as Man United manager, because we have endured bad periods under him. But like I've said, our board have got a soft stance on Solskjaer, with Solskjaer being a club legend. Reflecting now on Solskjaer's been at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience. You know, Man United is the third club in his managerial career. You know, he has learnt quite a bit on the job. And like I've gone through with you, there's still things he's got to do at the club. I think he's got to identify his best 11. I think he's got to give Donny van de Beek more opportunities. And I also think that he's got to get his selections right persistently. Solskjaer's been Man United manager for over 2 years now. By the way, the game against Everton was his 100th Premier League game as manager. As far as I'm aware at the moment, there has been no discussions over getting Solskjaer a new contract at the club. Solskjaer has like 18 months left on his current contract. I definitely think that we need to make signings in the summer transfer window. You know, I said there's 3 areas where I think we need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. Solskjaer says our summer transfer plans could be affected by the coronavirus pandemic. But I'm still expected to make signings despite the pandemic. Solskjaer has endured 4 transfer windows as Man United manager. Well, permanent Man United manager. And I don't think he's been backed enough in the transfer windows he has endured so far. And obviously Woodward has come out and promised Solskjaer, you know, that he will back him. He said towards the end of last year he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. Solskjaer's got to be backed in the summer, and it was a disappointing January transfer window for us. We only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. And it won't be too long now until we see Amad Diallo Traore in the first team squad. Amad Diallo Traore has made 2 appearances for the under-23s. But Solskjaer did say, didn't he, a few times during the January transfer window that he wasn't expecting any signings. But he did say more fringe players could leave, which they did. Obviously in January we saw Jesse Lingard go out on loan. We loaned Tiedemann Mengi out. We let Marcus Rojo go. Odin Ighalo said his farewells to the club. We let Timothy Fosu-Mensah go to Bayer Leverkusen. So to Solskjaer's credit, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in. And despite our reluctance to back Solskjaer with transfers, I still think he's made good signings as Man United manager. You know, obviously in the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. You know, in January of last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odin Ighalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri, who's obviously now being loaned out, and Amad Diallo Traore. And he has spent over £200 million at the club. But yeah, the board, I've got to say, has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years, reflecting now how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players, and the board haven't backed any of the managers enough that we've had since Ferguson retired. You know, since Ferguson left, we have spent over £1 billion on players. We've brought, around 37 players in since Ferguson left. Obviously, under the David Moyes era, we brought Marion Fellaini and Juan Mata in. Under Louis van Gaal era, we must have brought around, 15, 16 players in. We brought Depay in, Morgan Schneiderlin, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, Victor Valdez, Herrera, Romero. So yeah, they're a lot of the players we brought in under Louis van Gaal. The vast majority of the players that Van Gaal brought in are no longer at the club though now. You know, Jose Mourinho, he recommended 11 players in to Manchester United. You know, Solskjaer is inheriting players from other managerial eras. But he has changed things around since he's taken over at Man United. We're not really known as a sacking football club, despite us sacking 3 managers. You know, that was Moyes, Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. So Ollie's our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. But we've got to give Ollie credit. You know, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Lost that to City 2-0. He's got us to the FA Cup 5th round. Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season. Got us qualification for the Champions League. He got us 3rd. Second highest with finishings Ferguson. And he guided us to 3 semi-finals. So, yeah. I still don't know though if Ollie is the long-term manager for Man United. But we've got to start beating the big sides in the Premier League this season, because we've really struggled against the big 6 sides this season, haven't we? And people say you've got to beat the big 6 sides if you are to be genuine title contenders, you know. You know, the 2 best games we've had this season was the 6-2 win against Leeds and the 9-0 win against Southampton. Obviously, it was the first time we'd scored 9 goals since the 9-0 win against Ipswich back in 1995, which was obviously 26 years ago. But to be honest with you, I'd seen inconsistency from Man United for so long. But obviously, in recent months and that, I've been seeing consistency under Solskjaer, you know. And we have been getting glimpses of the Sir Alex Ferguson era, you know, because we have actually come from behind in a lot of games this season, and we used to do that a lot under Sir Alex Ferguson. Not only that, you know, we used to score last-minute goals under Ferguson. But no one's going to do what Ferguson did. You know, Ferguson endured 27 years with us. He won a total of 38 major honours. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. But like I've said, we've got some good players in our team. And you've got players that are really improving. You know, you've got Marcus Rashford that's really improving. When Rashford plays well, he can get good runs in behind. He can create chances and he can score goals. I think Marcus Rashford's more effective out wide anyway. On the left. I don't think he's as good centrally. Rashford's been part of the club for several years. You've got Luke Shaw that's really improving. You know, defensively, Luke Shaw's been superb. You know, Luke Shaw's getting forward well. You know, he's creating chances for his teammates. You know, Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. Luke Shaw's injury prone, though. That's my only element of concern about him. Bailly is a very good centre half, but he's too injury prone. But I certainly prefer him to Victor Lindelof. And Wan-Bissaka, he's really improving. He's getting forward a lot more now recently. He's taking players on at the edge of the box. He's putting good crosses into the box. And Wan-Bissaka's always been defensively superb. This is his second full season at Man United. You know, Fred, I think he's really improving. You know, he's breaking up the play well. He's playing some good passes through. He's getting forward well. I think the only thing that Fred needs to work on is his reading of the game. You know, obviously you've got Edison Cavani that has made a fantastic impact. Obviously scored in the 3-3 game with Everton. Edison Cavani, you know, scores goals, he creates chances, his movement in and around the box is good, he holds up the play well. And I can assure he will see out his contract at Man United. We got Edinson Cavani on a free transfer. He signed a 1-year contract on Man United with an option of a second year. Mason Greenwood's improving as well. You know, yesterday in the game against Everton, he made some very, very good runs down that right-hand side. He can create chances as well, can Mason Greenwood. And he can score goals. Hasn't been scoring though recently, despite him performing well against Everton and Southampton. Ollie's been defending Mason Greenwood a lot this season. You know, earlier on this season, Greenwood obviously had personal issues. At one point, he was out with injury. And at one point, he had illness. At the start of this season, we give Mason Greenwood that number 11 shirt. Bruno Fernandes, he's obviously an exceptional player. You know, he's our best player and he's the best signing we have made since Ferguson. He's made a difference in the team. Predominantly plays as a number 10. Bruno Fernandes is planning on spending many years at Man United after his 12-month anniversary. Fernandes did score a good goal, like I said, against Everton. But in most of his games at Man United, he has been very, very consistent. There's only been a few games where he has looked off the pace. It recently said we are 3 months into contract talks with Bruno Fernandes. So we're already looking to extend his contract, and his current contract with us expires in 2025. There's also an option to extend his contract for a further 12 months, Bruno Fernandes. We initially paid, £47 million for him, but the overall cost with add-ons is just over £67 million. Bruno Fernandes denies he needs a rest, you know, because he obviously wants to help the club win trophies. Donny van de Beek, you know, he's also a good player when he plays. He's not getting enough chances, you know. The most of Donny van de Beek's appearances have come from the bench. He's only started 2 games in the league, and that was West Ham and Southampton. You know, Solskjaer made an admission a few weeks ago saying that Donny van de Beek is unhappy at Man United because of his lack of game time, but he did promise Donny van de Beek more game time at Man United. End of the day, you know, we got Donny van de Beek in a deal worth £40 million. We paid £35 million up front and there was £5 million in add-ons, and Van de Beek's got a contract with the club until 2025. And Van de Beek can play in like 3 different roles. You know, you can put him as a number 10. You can put him as a box-to-box midfielder. That was his predominant position at Ajax. And you can also put him out wide. ESPN said during the January transfer window that we rejected several loan offers for Donny van de Beek. You know, Paul Pogba, he's really, really improving. I think the vast majority of his performances have been good since he came back from that ankle injury that he did have earlier on this season. Pogba was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury, and obviously now he's out with a muscle injury. So he's sustained a few injuries at Manchester United. Don't forget, we've recently held talks with Paul Pogba regarding his future. Solskjaer insists that Pogba's happy at the club, and Solskjaer's actually suggested that Paul Pogba could sign a new contract at Man United. Said a few weeks ago that Pogba was considering making a U-turn at the club, and he contradicted his agent Mino Raiola for the second time. I think Paul Pogba's future is on hold until the end of the season. But yeah, Matthias Pogba, Paul Pogba's brother, recently gave us an update on Pogba's future, and he said we must sell him during the summer if we are to get the money. Or he said he could leave for nothing in 2022, but he said he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. So in a way, he's saying the exact same thing as what Fabrizio Romano said, because he said that Paul Pogba's transfer away from Man United is still on the cards. So there you go. So yeah, like I say, on my next video, I'll be giving you my starting 11 predictions. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.